What's up, family? What's going on? You're rocking with the best thoughts of the week. And today we're going to have in this live show, we're going to be going over Claud Anderson's latest book, Black History Reader. So we're going to have an informative show today. So let's get started. Let's get started, y'all. Shall we? So what's going on, everybody? How you guys doing? Welcome to Thoughts of the Week podcast. And we are live, all right? We are live. We're live, man. I hadn't gone live in a long time. All right? Haven't been live in a minute. It's been a minute, man. It's been a long time. So let me see. I make sure I've turned everything off here. It's been a long time, man. I've been wanting to use OBS for a minute. Had issues in the past, and but we here. But we are here, all right. So hopefully the video and audio is coming out good. I'm checking the monitors every now and then, and I'm using a streaming platform that does pretty decent from another one that I use. One I use is free, the other one I pay for. So the pay for seems to give slightly better quality. And so, you know. So let me look at some things real quick here, and let me just make sure I can change some things here. I'm hoping I can. And hopefully the quality. Let's see here. Hopefully I'll be able to change it up a little bit. Alright. I want to make sure things come out kind of smooth there. With as less jumping as possible. All right. So as you guys can see, the phone lines are open and available for you guys to be calling in. All right. The phone lines are open. Feel free to call in, man. 423-521-0137. All right. I'm gonna take these headphones off. It's just kind of like my monitors, and so I can listen to it every now and then and make sure audio is going through and working. All right. So as I said before, the phone lines are open. 423-521-0137. All right. And today, like I said, some of y'all might have seen me post up a little bit about the show. We're gonna go over Claud Anderson's book, man. I did a podcast 57, going over question number 9, and today we're gonna go over question number 58 of Claud Anderson's latest book, A Black History Reader. I suggest you guys go out and get this book. To the schools out there, I recommend you get all 5 of his books. All right, high schools and middle schools, and you can judge accordingly which book should be for middle grades and which book should be for the high school grades. But I definitely believe and think that you should get them started on these books. Now, just after me saying that, I'm thinking to myself, like, you should definitely, both of his Black history books, you should have that required reading in middle school for sure. And maybe the upper middle school grades, you can probably go into this book here from kind of higher middle school all the way through high school, all grades through high school. You should probably start doing the Black History Reader. But middle school, definitely you should go over both the Black history books. And then I would say high school, you probably want to go with Black Labor, White Wealth, and Powernomics for sure in high school. All right, all of them in high school, I say, all the books, the Black history books, Powernomics, Black Labor, White Wealth, and the Black History Reader, definitely go all the way from high school on up. But I would say middle school, start them off with both of the Black history books. All right. So again, the phone lines are open. I hope they are working. I've been testing the phones and having people call the phone line, making sure it comes through, and it's been working during the test. So hopefully it'll work for the actual live show. Again, thank you guys for coming in. This is Thoughts of the Week. You rocking with the best. And before we get started here, let's go over, let's talk about the holidays, man. All right, product store. All right, we got some products available for you guys. Okay, got some products available for Valentine's Day for those who want to get their significant other a Valentine's Day gift. For those who like the little soft dolls, there you go. All right, these are the dolls available for Valentine's Day, and there's not much left, so make sure you guys get you a doll. It's like one of the for the dog is like one dog left with the heart tongue. The Valentine's Day twins, there's only 2 of those, and then there's 8 of the little Valentine's Day bears, the Boyd's bears. All right, so there's about 8 of those left. So make sure you go to the product store, man. Go to theproductstorecompany.com. all right, theproductstorecompany.com, and get your products, man. Get your Valentine's Day bears. All right, Valentine's Day dog. Make sure you go and check it out. There'll be more products coming soon. There's courses on there as well. You can guys check out and decide if you want to take one of the courses. And also, let me add also that coming up here, I'm going to be giving out 2 discount codes for 2 courses in particular. So you're going to have to start following me on Instagram. You guys can go to Norwood Media Vision on Instagram, Norwood Media Vision on Facebook, and you can check me out on Norwood Ventures Unlimited on Instagram. All right, for those who want to follow me on my personal page, you can follow me there as well. And like I said, on those platforms, I'm going to be giving out 2 discount codes for 2 courses. All right, it's going to be a significant discount on both. You're going to get a good deal on one. You're going to get a good deal on both. When I say one, because one of them you're going to actually get an ebook. That the ebook is actually sold separately, but you're going to get the course and the ebook for a good deal. All right. And the other course, you're going to get a significant amount off of that course too. For those who want to learn how to protect themselves, we got a course that I'm going to give a discount code off of. And for those of you who want to do what I'm doing, the podcast show, and want to know how to get started quick and not having all this type of expensive equipment, because I kind of build up some stuff and I still don't have the things that you might see others. I just kind of I use my own creativity and pick up things that I feel that is good for doing the podcast. But the course would definitely show you an easy way how to get started with equipment that you probably have on hand, or if you have to buy something, it's so less expensive to get started on it. All right. So those two courses, I didn't mention the other name of the other one, and I will on the other platform. So you guys make sure you follow Instagram, Norwood Media Vision on Instagram, and Facebook, Norwood Media Vision on Instagram and Facebook, and Norwood Ventures Unlimited on Instagram. Follow those pages and you'll find out what the code is on one of those pages. All right. All right. When this show is over, I'll have the if you guys want to support this episode, I'll have a link after the show, after this live show, where you guys can support this episode. And if you want to support any other episodes for that matter. All right. So, like I said, the phone lines is open. Feel free to call in. And we're going to get into it, man. We're going to get into it with this book right here, Black History Reader. All right. Again, Claud Anderson's latest and greatest book, A Black History Reader, 101 Questions You Never Thought to Ask. All right. You never thought to ask. So, again, like I said, I was going to go over question number 58. All right. And let me just find it real quick here. All right. So, question number 58 is, what were sundown towns? So, how many of y'all know what sundown towns are? You might not know what a sundown town is or was, and do we have, my question to that, the add on to that is, after you hear me read it, and I might do some comments on some of the stuff I read, or I might just read it through. It might not be any need to comment on it. But after I read it, will we be able to say that there's still sundown towns today, or was it a thing of the past? All right. So that's my other question on top of that, my unofficial question for the show. All right. So let's get into it. Hold on here. Let me just look at some things real quick. Make sure everything is good. Make sure everything is good here. All right. So it looks like some stuff is okay. So what I'm making sure is that everything is showing up on Facebook and YouTube. I'm streaming on 3 different platforms. One of them seemed like it wasn't showing up, so I hurried up real quick and signed into another platform just in case the other one doesn't show up. But I'll know after the show, once the show is over. All right, so let's get into it, man. No more delay. What were sundown towns? All right, so I'm gonna go over and read it to you guys. What were sundown towns? All right, a sundown town was an organized jurisdiction that enacted public policies and practices that kept blacks from being in their all-white towns after certain hours. All right, so before I even read any further, this already reminds me of, I can't remember whether or not my parents said it or not, or if my grandma said it, or I don't remember it. It could have been, but I don't remember. But I have heard other people tell their kids they better get in when the light comes on or before it gets dark. All right. Thus the sun down. When the sun goes down, you better be in the house. All right. So I've had friends. I think I heard their parents tell them the same thing, or even heard them growing up saying, hey, I got to get back home before it gets dark. So let's take a look at it, man. That's what, as soon as just reading that one sentence already reminded me of that. So let me go over it again. A sundown town was an organized jurisdiction that enacted public policies and practices that kept blacks from being in their all-white towns after certain hours. Although there have been some change in the course of 100 years, the proclamation of racial harmony and successful social integration has proven itself an illusion. All right. It legitimizes and hides racial hatred and the exclusion of blacks in American society. Whites responded to social integration after the 1960s by moving away from physical proximity to blacks and built suburbs for whites only. In similar fashion, following the legal end of slavery, whites openly organized towns and enacted public policies that forbade blacks from living in or spending the night within the jurisdictional boundaries of sundown towns. All right. These sundown towns and communities publicly boasted about having hanging trees for blacks. All right. The traditional South had some independent sundown towns, but most were in Middle America and northern states. Imagine that. I'm going to read that again. The traditional South had some independent sundown towns, but most were in Middle America and northern states. Northern states. Blacks across the nation responded to the fact that whites did not want to be around them by building their own towns and resort areas. Many of their communities or towns were located at the edge of sundown towns because blacks were dependent upon the daytime jobs that the sundown towns offered them. All right. After the Civil War, Jim Crow was instituted, further racially polarizing the North and South. Some sundown towns posted conspicuous signs and billboards in public places that notified blacks that they were not allowed to enter or were only allowed to enter for short periods during specified times and only after posting bond. All right. The message on billboards. The message on billboards in one sundown town boldly stated, protection dog. Okay, that's enough. Come here. Come. Come here, bro. Come here. Come here. That's live for you. That's why we go live. So you guys excuse me for that. Excuse me. All right, that's enough. Okay. All right. The message on billboards in one sundown town boldly said, the message on billboards, I'm going to say it again. Y'all excuse me. The message on billboards in one sundown town boldly stated, nigger, if you can read this, you better run. If you can't read this, you better run away. You better run anyway. All right. So again, all right. Shh. There was one billboard that stated, that had this on the billboard back then. It said, nigger, if you can read this, you better run. And it said, if you can't read this, you better run anyway. All right. So let me show you a picture real quick. This is not the picture of one of the billboards that I was reading, but this is a picture of, I think this is actually Claud Anderson looking at one of the billboards, if I'm not mistaken here, from what it reads. And the sources come from the actual author himself, his own personal collection. All right, so check it out. There's the picture right there. That's of an actual billboard. Join and support the United Klans of America Incorporated. Help fight communism and integration. Welcome to Fayetteville. All right. So I'm going to read this again because of the dog's noise in the background, but it states, one of the message on billboards in one sundown town, doesn't name the sundown town, but it boldly said, this is what one of the billboards actually said. It said, "Nigger, if you can read this, you better run. If you can't read this, you better run away." The Ku Klux Klan and similar community-spirited organizations enforced the warnings and expressed the town's restrictions to the unwanted guest. The civil rights movement of the 1960s brought down most of the conspicuous signs and billboards that warned blacks but did not erase the sentiments. So in the 1960s, at some point during that time, they started taking down all these billboards, but the sentiment was still there. Thoughts and ideas were still there. So it says, although most of the sundown towns disappeared after the 1960s, we don't know about that for sure. Although most of the sundown towns disappeared after the 1960s, a few lingered a while longer in Texas and other southern states. Texas had the most sundown towns, such as Cumbie, Grand Saline, Vidor, and Alba. As the nation entered the 21st century, the sundown towns in Texas had the reputation of being the worst in America. All right. A sign at the Alba city limits, for instance, once warned blacks, not minorities, people of color, or women, but blacks, to stay out. All right. The word Alba means daybreak in Spanish. Alba was founded in 1881 with an all-white population of 50. By 1910, the town's population had increased to 2,595 and was ethnically diversified. The ethnic mix was reportedly 2,225 whites, 7 American Indians, and 68 who were Mexicans, Bohemians, or Armenians. Alba had diversity but 0 black residents. Racism in Alba and similar sundown towns was directed strictly at blacks. On the other hand, those sundown towns welcomed Asians, Arabs, Hispanics, and European whites. And I'm going to read that one again about some of these sundown towns. On the other hand, those sundown towns welcomed Asians, they welcomed Arabs, they welcomed Hispanics, and welcomed European whites. The Center for American Progress, in a research publication, the failures of integration, found that 85% of whites indicated in a poll that they did not care whether they lived in an area where most of their neighbors were white or where most were black. All right. However, in other questions in the same survey, 85% of whites also said they actually lived in areas where they had few or no black neighbors. The majority of whites indicate they support integration, but most Americans do not live in that reality. One wonders what is the difference between the sundown towns of yesteryear and today's suburban cities that surround black inner cities. All right, so that was a quick one. Again, so if you guys don't know or haven't heard about sundown towns, I just read it and broke it down to you. All right. And like I said, when first reading the first sentence, I just recall, and I can't remember if my parents did or didn't, but I do remember hearing people say, "Hurry up and get home before dark." And I think that mentality came from the sundown towns. However it was, whether the parents knew about the sundown towns themselves and that thought still lingered in their brains and the mindset of get back home before dark, Or it could have just been, it gets dark and so it's going to be less safe out there and crazier. So they might have told their kids, get home before dark. Who knows? It could be a combination of the two. We don't know. All right. But there you have it. That's Sundown Towns. And let me see here. I might go over one more. Not today, but the next podcast, I'm going to look through this book again. Because I seen there was a lot of different questions here. It's 101 questions in this book. And a lot of them are pretty good. So I don't know how many questions I'm going to go from one podcast to the next before, I go to other subjects altogether. But there you have it for the Sundown Towns. If you've never heard of it again, now you know. All right. So with that being said, again, you guys make sure you go to the product store. Make sure you check out the product store. All right. And check out the products available for Valentine's Day. Going live is a trip, man. You gotta plan and prepare for it. But check out the product store, theproductstorecompany.com, theproductstorecompany.com. All right, be sure to check it out. And with that being said, man, I'm gonna get out of here. All right. So you have been rocking with the best thoughts of the week. I will see you again. And I'm not deleting none of this. I'm keeping this all in the podcast show. All right. So with that being said, I'm out. Peace. One love.